Mitochondria, a very important and interesting cell organelle. Let's learn about mitochondria today. Single mitochondria is called mitochondrion. So, mitochondria means many mitochondrion. Hello students, welcome to Poonam's classroom. Till now, we have learnt about nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, lysosome and the basics. Link will be in the description and also in the comment section. So, what are mitochondria? Mitochondria are rod-shaped organelle found in the eukaryotic cells that can be considered the power generators of the cell, converting oxygen and nutrients into adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP. So, it is a rod-shaped organelle and generates power for the cell by converting oxygen and nutrients into ATP. We will understand each part of the definition now. This is an animal cell and this rod-shaped structure is the mitochondrion. A cell might have lot of mitochondria as you can see in this animal cell. Let's first see the structure of mitochondria and then we will understand why it is called power generator of the cell. This is the structure of mitochondria. Can you see the rod-shaped structure? And when we open it, it will look like this. Quite different from other organelle we have studied till now, isn't it? There are two membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Can you see the inner membrane has so many folds? These folds of the inner membrane are called cristae. Remember, not cisternae that we saw in endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus. Cisternae are elongated sac-like structures and cristae is the folding of the inner membrane of mitochondria. The outer membrane of mitochondria has pores and that's why the outer membrane is called porous. The space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane is called intermembrane space and the space inside the inner membrane is called matrix, which is gel-like. Do you have any idea why the inner membrane is so much folded? To increase the surface area. Now you will ask me, ma'am, why the surface area needs to be increased? This is because more surface area means more space, so it can accommodate more enzymes for respiration and synthesis of ATP. Mitochondria takes oxygen from outside and eliminates carbon dioxide. So this is respiration, right? This is called cellular respiration. Actually, it is called aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a one kind of respiration where oxygen is used. So mitochondria does aerobic respiration. It also generates ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. What are these ATP? These are actually the energy molecules. That is, when cell requires energy, it will use the ATP. And this ATP, that is these power molecules, are generated by mitochondria. And that's the reason mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell, because it generates the power for the cell. So ATP needs to be used to get the power or the energy. It's like you are going to a shop and giving money and getting a chocolate. So ATP is like money which is used to buy energy. And that's the reason ATP is called energy currency of the cell. Is it clear why mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell? Because it generates the energy required for the cell. The body uses energy stored in the form of ATP for making new chemical compounds and for mechanical work. Mitochondria varies from cell to cell. The cells which are very active and needs more energy will have more mitochondria, like muscle cells, and certain cells do not have mitochondria like the red blood cells or RBC. Now let's concentrate in the structure of mitochondria again. Inside the matrix there is mitochondria's own DNA. The DNA is circular in nature, that is, it does not have any open end. Can you tell me another organelle which has its own DNA? If you know, let me know in the comment. Mitochondria also has its own ribosome, so it can synthesize its own protein. So mitochondria is quite different from other cell organelle, isn't it? Mitochondria is called strange organelle because it has its own DNA and ribosome. It is also called semi-autonomous body as it can manufacture some of its own protein. Auto means independent and semi means partially. That is, it is partially independent. Now you know everything about mitochondria. Let's see the functions of mitochondria now. Respiration. Mitochondria are the sites where aerobic respiration takes place. Energy. Mitochondria provides energy in the form of ATP for the vital activities of the living organism, and that's why it is called powerhouse of the cell. Intermediates. They provide intermediates for synthesis of chemicals like steroids. So this is all about mitochondria. Now you know it is a rod-shaped structure. It helps in process of respiration, which is actually aerobic respiration. Why aerobic? Because oxygen is required for the process of respiration. It generates energy for the cell as well as the body, and that's the reason it is called powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria has its own DNA and has its own ribosomes. So it is a semi-autonomous body. It can do its work by own partially, and it is also called a strange organelle because it has its own DNA. A cell which requires more energy will have more mitochondria like the muscle cells, and cells which do not require much energy will have less mitochondria. Red blood cells do not have any mitochondria. If we look at the structure of mitochondria, it has an outer porous membrane and an inner membrane which is folded into structures called cristae. The space between the inner and outer membrane is called intermembrane space, and the space inside the inner membrane is called matrix. The inner membrane is folded into cristae to increase the surface area. Mitochondria's DNA is circular DNA. That's it for today, students. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more such videos. Thank you.